Chechen troops have been attracting quite a lot of attention since the war between Russia and Ukraine began. Chechen troops are being sent in support of Russian troops, especially at many points where the Russian army is being challenged. Actually, as a support, it may not be quite right to say. Chechen soldiers of Kadyrov, the puppet Chechen leader, who is one of the loyal employees of Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin, are being used as bait. Chechen soldiers are mostly sent to areas where the Ukrainian army is advancing on the front line. As you know, the defense line of the Russian army is about to disintegrate in many regions. Reinforcements needs to be sent to these areas again and again. However, it is unlikely that the Russian military will send such a support at the moment. Therefore, Chechen troops are being sent to these regions. While Chechen troops were being sent to the front line to meet the needs of the Russian army, bad news came for Chechen troops. An interesting development regarding Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov has caused a big shock in the sources. So, where is Ramazan Kadyrov? Let's take a look at the developments together. Recently, both Ukrainian and Russian sources shared reports about Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov being hospitalized. In the beginning, these reports were not paid much attention because there was no information about what reason the Chechen leader was hospitalized for. However, Ukraine's main intelligence directorate has shared important allegations about Kadyrov with the public. Then the agenda became quite active. Ramazan Kadyrov, the loyal puppet of the president of the Russian Federation Vladimir Putin, has been in a coma for a very long time. Moreover, this information had been hidden from the Chechen troops serving on the front line for almost weeks. After the announcements of the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine, both Russian and Chechen sources experienced a great shock. Russian sources initially denied this claim. However, later Russian sources also confirmed that Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov was in coma. And what happened to Ramazan Kadyrov? It is not known for what reason Ramazan Kadyrov fell into a coma. However, there are many different claims about this issue. According to one of these claims, Ramazan Kadyrov had been struggling with a chronic illness for a long time. That's why he even wanted to take an active part during the war. However, Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin had rejected Kadyrov's request. Kadyrov was occasionally assigned to visit Chechen troops on the front line. At the same time, he had been ordered to take a role in the dispatch and administration of Chechen troops, but Kadyrov's body could no longer handle this piece. Kadyrov was also tired and worn out due to the effect of his illness. Therefore, Kadyrov had fallen into a coma after a severe illness. There is another claim besides this claim, which is quite important. It is even a claim that we think has a high probability of accuracy. As you know, in recent months, the plane containing Wagner Group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin crashed within the borders of Russia, and the Wagner chief lost his life in this plane crash. Later, many sources claim that Prigozhin was assassinated on the orders of the Russian leader Putin. Also, this claim was true in our opinion, because Prigozhin had caused a great damage to Putin's power by attempting a coup. We know that Prigozhin is eager to lead the Russian Federation. He was even one of Putin's strongest opponents in the power struggle within the Russian Federation. However, Wagner leader Yevgeny Prigozhin had also a rival. The opponent was Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov. Kadyrov was an opponent of Prigozhin as well as Putin. However, Kadyrov had a quieter and calmer advancing structure. Although he was powerless in this battle for power, he was a dangerous candidate, because Chechen troops were carrying out important tasks at the points where the Russian army was disbanded, and they were all subordinate to Kadyrov. Also, years ago, there was a war involving the Chechen leader's father. During this war, Russia had experienced one of the blackest days of its life. The Chechen were a dangerous nation for the Russian administration, which should always be kept under control. As much as Ramazan Kadyrov was an ally of Putin, after all, he was also a Chechen, and he was dangerous. As you know, Russian leader Putin has a very paranoid mindset. Putin can find a threat directed against him on every issue, and he's not afraid to apply all kinds of methods to eliminate these threats. Among the interesting claims about decapitation of Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov, the name of Russian leader Vladimir Putin is mentioned. As we've mentioned, Chechens have always posed a great threat to Russia. With the death of Yevgeny Prigozhin and the departure of the Wagner Group from the front line, the importance of Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov and Chechen troops increased. Despite this increasing importance, Chechens should not become so powerful. Therefore, it is a very possibility that Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin may have carried out an assassination of Kadyrov. But of course, these issues that we have mentioned are still in the nature of claims. Whether or not Ramazan Kadyrov comes out of his coma will show us new developments about this claim. In addition, a claim made about treatment of Ramazan Kadyrov raised the possibility that the Chechen leader was poisoned on the orders of Putin. According to the allegations in question, Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov could not be treated due to inadequacies in hospital located in Chechnya. Therefore, the Chechen authorities decided to send Chechen leader Kadyrov to Russia, but Russian hospitals refused to treat the Chechen leader. Therefore, it was decided to send Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov to the United Arab Emirates for treatment. An official statement about the latest status of Ramazan Kadyrov has not been made so far. However, according to local sources and Chechen sources, Ramazan Kadyrov's condition is critical. In addition, Chechen troops fighting in the Ukrainian army are also closely following the developments related to Ramazan Kadyrov's medical condition. According to Chechen troops fighting in the Ukrainian army, Chechen troops fighting in the Russian army did not have any information about Kadyrov's illness. These troops also became aware of Kadyrov's situation after statements by the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine. Therefore, Chechen soldiers fighting in the Russian army feel great anger against both the Chechen government and the Russian government. The Chechen nation has an unruly structure. It also depends on the leader in general. In the scenario where Chechen leader Ramazan Kadyrov has been assassinated, Chechen soldiers will stop fighting in the ranks of the Russian army. This situation also leads to disruption of the Russian troops on the front line, especially the defense lines. Also, as you know, Chechen soldiers are guarding the borders of Russia in some regions. In the mentioned scenario, we can mention that Chechen soldiers will stop protecting the borders of Russia. In this case, Russia will face great danger. And what do you think? What do you think happened to Kadyrov? What do you think about the allegations that Putin carried out an assassination? How will the war be affected if Kadyrov dies? Will Chechen troops join the Ukrainian ranks? How does this affect the fate of the war? Could there be a third Chechen-Russian war? Mention it in the comments. I'm reading and caring about all your comments.